Imagine the sun starts to set. Right on cue, your pool pump fires up and your outdoor landscape lights click on, all without you lifting a finger. That is the goal today, setting up total hands-off automation. To get there, we are using the Intermatic T101 mechanical timer. But before you open your toolkit, look at the specifications on this panel. The T101 is strictly a 120-volt system. This diagnostic matrix shows why that matters. The 120-volt T101 has exactly 3 brass screws on the terminal block. If your setup has 5 screws, it requires 240 volts. Wiring it to the T101 ruins the hardware. You need the T104 model. Assuming you have the right model, let's map the core anatomy. You will be manipulating 3 main components: the yellow 24-hour dial, the stationary pointer that indicates the time of day, and the terminal board housed beneath the bottom shield. Verifying your voltage matches your equipment and knowing exactly where these components are located ensures you won't damage the timer before the physical installation even starts. This infographic breaks down the safety rules you must complete before touching wiring. Step 1. Kill the main power at the breaker panel. Step 2. Verify a dead circuit using an AC multimeter. And Step 3. Ensure you are working in a completely dry environment. With the power confirmed off, mount the metal enclosure to your wall using heavy-duty screws and wall anchors. Once it's secure, use a hammer and screwdriver to punch out the bottom or side knockouts so you can run your wire conduit. Here is a helpful tip. Trying to wire the terminals while the entire mechanism is clamped inside that restrictive metal box limits your visibility and makes the job difficult. To bypass that problem, look at the diagram here. Simply press this top retaining clip upward. The entire yellow dial mechanism will lean forward, allowing you to pull it straight out of the box. By physically removing the mechanism, you gain unobstructed access to the terminal board and safely isolate the delicate timing gears from the heavy-duty wire stripping. This schematic details the T101's electrical architecture. Notice the specific wire requirements. You must use 14 to 8 AWG solid or stranded copper wire only, and strip exactly 1/2 inch of insulation for your connections. Step 1. Connect your bare or green incoming ground wire directly to the green ground screw attached to the metal chassis. Step 2. Route the incoming white neutral wire from your breaker panel and secure it under the brass screw at terminal A. Step 3. Take the incoming black wire carrying the 120-volt power from your circuit breaker and connect it to terminal 1. This is your line voltage. Finally, Step 4. Attach the outgoing black or red wire to terminal 2. This is your load wire, delivering the switched power out to your pool pump or lights. With wires placed, follow this diagram for the immediate physical checks. Tighten all brass terminal screws to a minimum of 25 pound-inches of torque. Then, perform a tug test by giving each wire a firm pull to ensure it's locked tight under the pressure plate. Warning tone. Before you restore power, you must replace the plastic insulator shield over the terminals. Once that critical barrier is locked in place, snap the fully wired mechanism back into the box until the top clip clicks, and flip your main breaker back on. Following this strict sequential architecture safely contains the 120-volt current, turning a bare metal box into a controlled automation hub. Now we sync the mechanical clock to real time. Grasp the outer edges of the yellow dial and pull outward gently to disengage the gears. Rotate it in either direction until the exact current time aligns with the downward pointing silver stationary arrow, then release. To confirm the internal clock motor is receiving live power, use the pinky motor test. Insert a finger into the visual inspection hole at the top right of the mechanism. If you feel internal gears turning against your skin, the unit is operating properly. This diagram shows how to set your daily schedule. Slide the green on tripper onto the edge of the dial at the time you want the power to start, and place the brass off tripper at the time you want it to stop. Secure them using the Goldilocks tightening roll. Tighten them firmly with your fingers, then use needle nose pliers to turn the screw exactly 1/16 of a rotation more. Too loose, and the trippers slide right past the activation switch. Too tight, and you will bend the tripper and jam the clock mechanism completely. Perfect calibration and precise tripper tension dictate how this hardware operates. Lock them down correctly, and the system will run cleanly for years. Over-tighten them, and it will jam in a week. To turn equipment on manually, push the override lever. The timer automatically resumes its cycle when the next tripper passes. For power outages, a power loss stops the gears immediately. When power returns, simply pull and rotate the dial to reset the time. This troubleshooting matrix outlines diagnoses for common issues. If the dial time is consistently wrong, an outage interrupted the motor. If gears are moving but the yellow dial is stuck, the dial isn't fully seated into the back mechanism. The T101's longevity relies on this modular life cycle diagram. Replace a lost tripper, a dead clock motor, or a fried terminal board by swapping individual components with a screwdriver. You rarely need to remove the main steel box. Understanding these swappable components and adhering to electrical safety protocols means you've engineered a reliable, hands-off automation setup lasting for decades.